Hello, and thank you for joining my Friday Reflection. So we started out this conversation on DEIB, or Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging, talking about our why. Why do we want to embark on this journey? Then we moved on to the need to listen to all types of employees in the organization and to aggregate those voices to help us understand what our next steps might be. Then last week we moved on to the strategic plan. And when we were talking about that, we were talking about how the first two steps inform that journey and how we want to make sure that we only focus on maybe 3 to 5 new things we want to do to embark on this journey of creating more of an inclusive workplace. This week, I want to just touch on some of the elements that we might see inside the plan, the actual initiatives that are inside the plan. First, we might want to be looking at how do we recruit and retain and promote more diverse talent. So we might want to be thinking about the creative ways that we can step outside our normal comfort zone for recruiting and find more creative ways to actually bring in more diverse candidates. And also the ones who are currently in front of us, make sure that we are listening to them in particular and providing experiences that they need. And then figuring out, when we look at promotion, what it is that we can do to make sure that people who are in the bottom of the organization, in the middle of the organization, see people at the top of the organization who look like them. And so when we're promoting to the senior levels of our organization, making sure that they're diverse. Another thing we might see inside the plan could be something around training. Training is a very big industry, and it's a very big focus for many, and they start there usually when they're looking at diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. But here's the thing, it is not the first place, right? We talked about the why, we talked about listening, we talked about making sure we know we want to plan, and the things that we need to do there. So training is one element. It's a very important element. It could be related to unconscious bias training. It could be related to uncomfortable conversations that we might need to have on this topic. It also could be just diversity training. What are the laws, the things that we want to do that we make sure keep ourselves compliant? So there are a lot of different ways that we can look at training. Training is a really critical part. And then another thing could be employee resource groups or business resource groups. We hear a lot about that in organizations where they're creating different groups for different types of employees, for women and minorities and LGBTQ. And this is all important. It creates connectivity, it creates like a connection, and then it creates a common place where people understand they can go there and it's a safe space for them to have discussions. Those are a few of the things that you might see inside the plan. There are a plethora of others, but I would say like those may be the few you start with. But it does depend on your organization, which is why I don't say that the 3 to 5 are a cookie cutter, that they should be in fact those things. It may be other things, but you have to know why. You have to listen first before you can determine what's going to go inside your plan. Next week, we're going to talk about the importance of having a way to measure your success on any venture you go on right now in the DEIB space. If you don't have a way to measure and connect it back to all your other strategic initiatives in your organization, you probably won't have a long-lived, successful journey on this road. So you want to make sure that you have a way to tie it back. What are the things that look like success for you? And being able to pinpoint when things were successful and maybe when they were not. So thank you for joining my Friday Reflection. I hope it's been insightful for you. Be well.